here we are, back again for another little mini video lesson on diagramming. And showing you today, first half of this will be how to recognize and diagram prepositional phrases, and then part 2, which will go up as a separate video, will be how to recognize and diagram indirect objects. We're doing the two together because they're really kind of going hand in hand. First of all, prepositional phrases. Now, there used to be a grammar book in our classroom, and I grew up with a very similar grammar book that had a big long list of like 50 prepositions that they expected students to know and memorize and be able to stand and rattle off. Basically, that's unnecessary. As speakers of English, we know prepositions and we know how they work. Prepositions are words that show, well, position. Where you are in space or time. Here are some examples. Words like in, or on, or at, or above, or below. There's tons and tons of those words, and we recognize them in English. Other words such as where we are in time would be before, after, or during, to name just 3. Now, our brains are programmed as English speakers to recognize that whenever we have a preposition, it's going to be immediately followed by a noun or a pronoun, possibly with some adjectives or articles in between, that will complete the phrase, and we call that the object of the preposition. Now, this sounds all terribly complicated, but in reality, if you try and write a sentence without an object of a preposition, your brain fills it in. You know instinctively, because you already understand how language works, that there must be something there, that the thought's not complete. For example, if I said, I went to the park with, see, your brain is filling it in with all kinds of things. Because you know that thought is not complete, you need an object of that preposition. Here's another one. Before breakfast, right? There's the object. Before is the preposition. Breakfast is the object. I ate chocolate cake with, and again, your brain wants to fill it in. Now, why am I eating chocolate cake before breakfast? Because I can. Hello? Now, when we diagram it, it's pretty simple. We need to keep the preposition and its object together, along with any adjectives or articles that happen to be hanging out with them. Let's take this example. The horse with the broken leg lost to the race. Poor horse. It's not his fault. Okay, now we start just like we did before with our crisscross applesauce, or our XY axis if we're going to be all sophisticated. And our subject goes right here, which is horse. It's the person, place, or thing doing the action. And our verb, what did the horse do? Lost. Okay, horse lost what? Race. So, just like before, we have our subject, our verb, and our direct object. Now, I like to cross these off. I like to treat this like a puzzle. So there's the 3 I've used. Now, let's go back to the beginning of the sentence and fill in any words we haven't yet used. The. What does the tell us about? Horse. So it goes under horse. Okay. Now, with. Oh! Where's a preposition? It tells where this horse is, like which particular horse it is. And we know we need to go all the way with what? The. With the what? Broken. With the broken what? Leg. Now we have a complete phrase. We've gone from the preposition to its object, or OP, which is what usually those are called. Now watch how this is diagrammed, because we need to keep it together. What does with the broken leg tell us about of these three pieces? Horse, lost, or race. What does it most tell us about? It tells us which horse, right? So that whole phrase is going to go under horse. Now I'm kind of out of room here, so I'm just going to extend that line. And just like before, a diagonal, and there's our preposition. Now, because this needs to stay together, we're going to connect it to the preposition, and then we're going to connect the object with leg. But all the horses have legs. At least we hope so. So we need to put the and broken to modify or describe leg. Okay, and there's our prepositional phrase. Now, prepositional phrases are always going to stay together in a diagram, but you don't always put them under the subject or always put them under the verb. You put the entire phrase under the word it most describes. Sometimes, like this one, it's an adjectival phrase. It's describing a noun. Sometimes it'll be an adverbial phrase. It will describe how or when something happened, and that will go under a verb. Okay? We've got one word left to do, and that is the. The what? The race. So it goes under race. There we go. Okay? Now, another preposition is the word to. T-O. Not T-O-O or T-W-O. Just T-O. And so in this sample sentence, Luke passed a note to his girlfriend, clearly thinking the teacher didn't see them. Let's go ahead and diagram this. What's our subject? Good. And what's our verb? Right. Okay. Luke passed what? Very good. Well done. Now, where does A go? I'm starting over, right? Dealing with the words I haven't used yet. Where does A go? That's right. And why does it go under there? Good. Now we're left with to his girlfriend. To is your preposition, and it's going to take with it the rest of the phrase. Okay, it's coming along for the ride. So, we know this is going to get diagrammed in an L shape. Everything we're doing today has L shapes. Where is to his girlfriend going to go? What does it most describe or modify? Right, where the note was passed. So, underneath the verb, just like we did before, there's our preposition and its object. Now, objects are always going to be nouns or pronouns, and they go on horizontal lines. And where are we going to put his? Right. Very good. And you've done it. Okay? Now, I want you to try this one. Before school, the clever girl completed extra credit assignment. Okay? And I'll give you the hint that you're going to treat extra credit like one word. Okay? Give that a try.